Underdog Daily with the Badge Bros. Yes, Badge Bros, as in multiple, as in two of us, as in Papa Nez, aka Nez Takes, is back with us. Super stoked to have you back, my guy. What's good?
It's great to be back in the saddle. It's been a long 2 weeks. It's been a fun 2 weeks. A lot of time spent awake.
Nice.
No, it's been good, man. I missed everybody. I had to get back in. Had to get back in and say what's up.
Absolutely, man. How's fatherhood treating you? Obviously, sleepless nights and that sort of thing. But recovery for Bria's going well, and tell us all about what it's like to hold Mello.
Yeah, man. She's doing really well. She's recovering way better than we both expected for a C-section. She's still pretty sore, but she was like walking like immediately. She had some real good meds, so she wasn't feeling a whole lot of pain to start. But yeah, so she's been recovering well. I've just been like really hands-on, doing as much as I can. That's not glow. That's just sweat. That's just not showering enough over the last 2 weeks. Dude, it's so cool though. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like I'm a level of tired that I did not think was possible these days.
Yeah.
But it's so cool, man. It's like, I don't know. You hear a lot of people say it's like the best thing you'll ever do. It's so awesome, man. Like it's like very effortless to just like give everything to that guy and to your wife and to like just like do what you got to do. It just comes, if you're not a piece of shit, I think it just like comes pretty natural to just like be caring and try to be there. So that's cool. And I mean, I'm so tired that like I thought I'd be able to grind, while I'm on paternity leave. And I did like at the hospital, I was still not too far removed that like while I was in the hospital, I was playing.
Yeah.
But during when we were home and I'm taking care of that kid, like I was so tired I didn't even want to draft. Like that,
Right.
that takes a lot. If you know me, man. That takes a lot to not want to be out there drafting. But I'm back in there. So
I love it, bro. No, man, you can see it. Like, even though you're tired, even though whatever, like people in the chat saying you're glowing and stuff like that, like you definitely come across very happy and very, very effortless father right now. That's great, dude. We got to talk about the origin story, man. The name, you kept it close to the vest. You said for a long time that you guys had picked out a name and that sort of thing, but you kept it close to the vest. You didn't let it slip. Yeah, what's the origin of Mello here? Is this a hat tip to my guy LaMelo or what here?
yeah. We almost called him Musa. We almost called him Miles. Went with LaMelo. No, it was like, so the inspiration was like, Carmelo Anthony, but like not because like I love Carmelo Anthony like with my whole heart. I mean, in back in the day, I was Carmelo over LeBron, in elementary school having those battles. I was definitely team Carmelo, but we just like liked the name and we knew that we wanted to give our kids like a unique, cool name. And we had settled on Melo before we even were pregnant. Like we knew that if we had a boy, we just said, we're going to have a boy, we're naming him Melo. And we knew this for years. And then once we found out we were having a boy, we're like, oh my God, like it's Mello. Like we're doing it. So we did it. We almost, the first name, when we were like talking about baby names at first, we liked the name Ace at first.
Oh.
And then we talked about it more like, is it really Ace? We're like, we talked about it more. We said it to ourselves much like, no, it's not Ace. So we went back to the drawing board and Mello it is.
Dude, you were like, babe, come on, Bria. Like, I made the OG 0 picture video. I can't be calling my kid Nace.
Cinco for 5-starter.
Cinco for 5-starter build. Yeah. I love that, man. Tolan, thanks for joining up there, becoming a member. That'll give you guys access to what is coming ahead right after this. This is going to be a redirect, funnel you guys right towards the hoops one behind the paywall there. I think this might be a little bit of a new norm, covering 2 sports in a day, that we do one forward facing and then one paywall facing, and we flip flop between baseball and basketball. As far as this week is concerned, Nez is still on part-time duty here, so I'll be doing some of the paywall stuff there. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Here, look at this. Nez is back, and the members come
Wow.
rolling
Look
in.
at this.
The great Sambino. And then on the bump 12 rolling in here. Mad respect for you guys joining up. Lots
Thanks,
of love
guys.
in the chat for Nez and Nez's return here. Yeah, great time, bro. Great time.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. It'll change your life. It really will. It's no joke. It's everything people say.
Yeah, I'm not ready for it yet. I can have my life changed. I can have my life changed. I can have my life changed by my nephews right now. I'm not ready yet, but in the near future. In the near future. Let's get the honeymoon out of the way, and then we will consider.
Yeah.
Nez, let's do what we do. Let's jump into some talks here. I want to start with the weekend winners. I want to get your pulse check on how dingers ended up for that, and then we'll do the slate in kind of like a tight and tidy hour here, and then pivot into NBA. So lots of fun stuff coming here. Ashton, gifting one out. Appreciate
Unreal.
You. Thank you. Just keep practicing.
Jeez.
This is what I am, T-Bear. I am perpetual fun uncle. Like I went over on Saturday, bring a couple gifts, monster trucks. Here you go.
Oh yeah.
Go throw the ball in the backyard, and then I'm out. Have fun tonight, guys. I'm out.
Give him the grave digger.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. Yeah, we got a couple grave diggers around there.
Yeah.
They like the shark one. I can't remember the Sharknado or no, that's the shitty movie. There's a shark one.
I only know grave digger.
Yeah. Classic chalk donk. Only know grave digger. Happy. All right, dude. Let's hop on over. I gotta bring this one up here. This is me parsing through the rankings earlier. Obviously, done a couple drafts already, and just highlighting the fact that I haven't seen a single person take Jose Ramirez yet. And he was available to pinch hit yesterday, but it was a 6-2 ball game and did not pinch hit. Methinks he finds his way back into the lineup today. So there's your early alpha for the MLB stuff. But I wanted to just hop on over to our Twitter space here because we got tagged in a whole bunch of W's over the weekend here, Nez. It was awesome to see. Our guy Topes, aka Timmy Carr, in the chat there took down the 12-bagger Thursday with only 12 entries in the main there. So just an evergreen reminder that baseball is you don't have to be a volume bro to get home in baseball. You just got to build intelligently because the player pool is so deep there. But shout out to Timmy there. We had a big win here for our guy Curated in the pick'em stuff. Man, we went 4 for 5 on the opening day pick'em. That was a heartbreaker. It was bested by Marcus Simeon single of all things. Ugh, gross. Yeah. Sambino, who just joined up to be a member, got his goat horns over the weekend there, took one down with just the 3 max there. Keep on scrolling. Our guy Car Park, aka Dirty Hands, Clean Money, wearing my shirt in honor of him, took down the main slate on the weekend as well. Johnny Footballs with a historic.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you saw this one. Did you see it going around in the Discord, Nez?
Yeah, I mean, what the hell,
dude? The guy hit the 8-legger like 150 different ways somehow. I have no idea. Like this scrolling just doesn't stop here, and it was like pick 'em after pick 'em after pick 'em. And he was number 5 in the NBA slate that night as well. So he was just all over it. Truly iconic, man. Iconic.
Johnny Rushmore, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah. Car Park took down the golf on the same day as he took down the baseball. So multi-sport draft league hat tip there. Unbelievable stuff. What else did we have? I know we had no Bo Sox take down the main last night. Big John got his goat horns in for his first time ever right there. It just took it's funny that he had multiple runner-ups in NFL and NBA, and then he gets his goat horns via the March Madness there. Shout out to our guy Noah, took down the main slate there as well. I thought this was a really nice story just in general here that T-Box received a DM like, hey, man, you're autoing a guy who's not going to be in the lineup, and just speaking large volumes to what this community is all about there, Nez.
Yep.
That's the roundup for the weekend. Shout out to all you guys there. That was It's super cool to see.
Busy weekend for the community, man. People were
Oh,
a lot of folks getting home.
yeah, man. Absolutely. I'm not going to lie, dude. I thought I had the main slate twice last weekend.
Yeah,
I
so did
thought
I.
I had it twice. And RIP me with some Dodgers heroics at the
It's
end there.
so funny, man. Like NBA, that'll almost never happen. That late in
Mhm.
a slate, you're sitting first. Like you're not losing money. You're not losing money that late. Like baseball, did you end up like losing money
Oh
or?
yeah. Oh yeah. I like the two. I had a team that was in first and a team that was in 10th, and they
Yeah.
both finished like 100 and 110. Baseball is unbelievable, guys. It is never over till it's over. It is the sickest sweat of all the sweats.
It is.
It's so fun, man. It's so fun.
It's a dangerous sweat. Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Um. Oh, here we go. There we go. Goat horns on Friday for On the Bump as well. Feels great.
Good
Man,
shit.
this is great. Love to see it. Best ball guy. If you guys have not seen, as of today, he was doing Davis Maddock. He was doing a show with Davis this morning there. So go back
Oh no
in
way.
time. Yeah, go back in time and check that one out. Our guy, best ball guy, who last summer streamed every damn day, streamed one best ball draft, football specifically. So
Good
mad
for him.
respect
That's awesome.
there. Yeah. And Raul joining up. What up? What up? Thank you for becoming
Welcome.
a member. Man, the members are flowing in today.
That's
You
crazy,
love to
man. I
see it.
might have to take these commissions for myself. I think that's could be understandable, John. I'm not putting this in your monthly cut.
Yeah, this is the Nez effect. The Nez effect is Nez is back. Boom. Oh, here it comes all in. All in.
Literally. These are people that canceled their membership the last 2 weeks and now they're coming back.
Oh, too good. Oh man. Shout out to Trevor who hit the split the pot. We ran the graphic on opening day there to remind everybody to play the split
Oh,
the
no
pot.
way.
And we said, do not play the chalk. Do not play the chalk. We threw out names like Jake Berger and Tyler Soderstrom and all these guys on the stream. Threw out all these names for you guys on the stream. And it was Adley Rutschman who was the name. And it was, I believe it was $2,800 there. Only split like 50 ways or something. So beautifully played by you. Well executed. Love that so much. Nez, before we do today's slate, I got some questions for you. How has the initial run of baseball been going for you? Have you been able to get some entries in there alongside your duties, or how you been feeling?
Yeah.
Baseball's back.
GPPs have not been like very good, but I haven't been playing immense volume either. So it's really no big deal. I like the way that I'm playing though. I think that I'm getting on good plays and setting myself up for success based on how I'm seeing games and how I'm looking at other people drafts. So I'm excited for it. But I've been like a little bit of a cash game king lately in these.
Look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little hesitant to say this because I don't want you guys in my lobbies, but cash games have been kind of nice, man. Been helping break even, maybe get a little bit of profit here and there. Do a little bit of $100 like 2-man or 3-man. It's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
So that's been cool. I think today though is going to be my big break. I maxed the early slate, and I'm gonna put in as much volume as I can in the main slate since
nice.
Numi increased the entrance, lowered the entry fee. I want to show up and show out for them.
Yeah, hashtag make it bigger was the movement. Obviously been a lot of talk in the Discord about payout structure and price point, and we flip-flopped all over the place last year, and Numi and Hope were very accommodating last year to change it to a $10 price point as the player pool got smaller. But now early in the season, recognizing that the player pool is large again and people would rather play baseball than silly season NBA right now, moving back to this $7 price point, expanding the contest, opposed to running like multiple small ones. That was kind of like the number 101 feedback over the weekend was like, yeah, baseball is like, you can't put all the games on one slate because of the way the times break up and that sort of deal. So it was like, how do we solve this issue? Well, let's have one big main and then we'll have like two smaller adjacent contests. And I think they did a great job. They cooked up nice today. Now it's just up to us to go out there and fill it, right?
Yeah, it may be interesting just because with the early slate, it might not be totally indicative of what volume can be. So I hope that, if things don't necessarily fill, that we give this another college try per se.
Yeah, absolutely. As you alluded to with the cash games, I just have them up on the screen to remind everybody that there are contests. If you don't want to ape into the big GPP, or you want to put like, instead of putting 5 bullets and 5 bullets like that, you can just go ahead and play one isolated 3-man, as you alluded to. Nice bankroll building opportunity down here, where you don't have to effectively hit the nuts or adjacent to the nuts to have a nice payday.
Yeah, I find them pretty fun. So
Yeah,
stay out of there.
love it, man. Last thing I wanted to talk about before we do the slate today is we never talked about Dinger. We never talked about how things kind of like wound up for us. I know you shared your exposures on the internet. I have yet to share mine on the internet. I fired up I don't know if you saw, I fired up the 150 draft at like midnight Pacific time, because I was just buzzing to get through it.
That was so awesome.
Poured myself a cheeky one, Nez, and then live reacted, because I'm a man of the people here. I did not look at my exposures since that one show that we did where we were like 20 or 25 each deep. So I wound up on some decently exploitative exposures and played the absolute hits with the players in which I selected. Nez, let's start with you. Let's talk about where you wound up and what was some of the stuff you liked. If you want to share your screen as well, so I can share it, that'd be great.
Yeah, let me throw that up here. I right now my advance rates aren't fantastic, but who
cares? Yeah, who cares?
The scoring period isn't even done yet. So who truly who gives a shit? But I like the way that I wound up here. I have pulled up my Dinger and my frozen rope exposures. I had to follow through with the meme. I made a big case for Jacob Wilson in Discord, and I decided to go all the way through with the Jacob Wilson stance. 33%.
Wow.
Jacob Wilson here. And I tell you what, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of the kid. He's up there.
Do you like his batting stats?
Oh, it's so irritating.
It's so irritating. I had no idea what it looked like until oh man, he's like 15 cups of coffee and 3 Red Bulls deep when he's at the plate.
You got to be that fast twitch if you're going to have those bat to ball skills, brother. I mean, that's just the way it goes. But I think he's going to work well with the team, just because I think the A's are like sneaky really good. So I'm excited to see like what he can do. If he's putting balls in play, maybe there's some extra RBI, some extra run opportunities, depending on who's hitting behind him or in front of him. So I'm excited for this team. Once Mike Trout gets going, brother, I think you and I both are going to be reaping some serious benefits, though.
Yeah, kind of a frustrating opening weekend there against the White Sox, and they had good weather in 2 of those 3 ball games, and then just, good hitting weather, and just, Angels fell flat on their face on multiple occasions there. But hopefully they right the ship in St. Louis here. It is so early. All I wish for Mike Trout is health. That's all I wish.
Yes. Yeah. Just let him stay healthy, and everything will take care of itself. Mm-hmm. Not loving all the Nestor Cortez right now.
They got the book on him. Right? Like, he's been with that organization. Yeah, he's been with that organization for 3+ years. You know what you're getting with Nestor. It's peaks and valleys, and you just don't use this start, right? It's fine.
Exactly.
Like,
it was great hitting weather, and they just hit 15 bombs in one series. Like, it'd be different if they blanked everybody against everybody else, but not ideal. Not ideal start there. The biggest regret that I have right now, John, is Roki.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's talk about him pivoting to a long relief role now, like that sort of deal. We talked about it a lot, though, with Dodgers pitchers in general, how it was like, who was going to be the one that would get the opportunity to be extended, who would be the one that could push that like 150 innings threshold. And like, for me, Rookie was just like not that guy, but you took a shot on a guy that you believed in the talent.
The reason I'm really regretful is because he cried.
Oh no. I didn't see him cry. Oh, there's no crying in baseball. Literally, by definition, no crying in baseball.
He cried. He cried. They zoomed in on him in the dugout with tears, and he was
Oh
crying.
no.
Are you kidding? If I'd known this dude was going to cry, I would have never had a single share.
So let's look at your top exposures here. We have a guy who's starting the year in the minor leagues despite injuries in front of him. We have a crying starting pitcher, and we have a herky jerky contact shortstop so far.
Yeah. Things are going as expected. Is there anything good going on? I mean, O'Neal Cruz was awesome in the games that he did play, but they already gave him rest. People were saying that he got benched for lack of effort. That was not a lack of effort. Like that. First off, the guy that was being quoted on that is like the worst. He's around Pirates Twitter. He's awful. That was not why. They just gave him rest because the Pirates just love to give him, because they can afford to give him rest whenever you're down 1-2, your 1-2 start against the Marlins, and then you go 1 out of 3 in Miami. Things are hilarious in Pittsburgh right now. Any other bright spots here?
The bright spot was Mackenzie Gore. The bright spot was Mackenzie Gore as a back end, like, he was a super cheap price tag that looked like reliable left-handed innings, and then he comes out and he just goes 13 Ks on opening day, and you go, oh yeah, by the way, that former 101 pitching prospect that was traded for Soto, he's still got some juice.
It was the classic like post-hype sleeper. Everybody was kind of tired of Gore, but I think he clearly showed nasty stuff last year, and a hell of a start against the Phillies there. But you can't. I'm not getting too excited about that, John, because that was a day game.
The shadows.
Shadows were nasty. So yeah, I'm not getting too excited. But you could hard to do better than that start from him.
Yeah, that was.
I was just gonna say it's so annoying too, because then they ended up crushing the reliever, and the Phillies were the stack you needed in that slate. That pissed me off so much.
Yeah, and it was I came on the show on opening day and said like, yeah, I'm off Phillies today, and then still, you get that Schwarber and Harper late bombs, and it was like a low scoring slate in general, that it was like, oh, you needed that skinny stack. It was like
you needed Gore and them. It was so dumb.
Yeah, it was so dumb. So dumb. Dude, looks pretty clean though. Looks like a good start here. Sanga stuff looks good. Peralta, Peralta was fine considering how many effing home runs. Like, he was in like one of the worst places to pitch there. The McClanahan one stings. Fott got the 5-year extension. Shout out fucking Brandon Fott. He's gonna be good this year. Pivetta looked so nice last night. He faced they faced the minimum last night, the entirety of the game there, and he looked nasty. Strikeouts were down a little bit, but he looked all sorts of nasty last night. So
I'm excited about him. I'm really excited about him.
Looks good, dude.
Not bad. Not bad. Well, it's a long season. Don't like this 15% Josh Young. I mean, just classic Josh Young. Find himself on the IL already. But I mean, I'm happy with this so far.
What if he's the low owned PC need in your Ranger stack? What if, Nez?
I still think he can play. It's just, can he stay healthy? And clearly the answer is no.
Well, hey, speaking of staying healthy, if we check out mine real quick here, Nez, we played the hits out here. We're not going to lie. We played the hits. Let me filter by Dinger. There we go. So that's where we ended up. 34% on the Lou Bob. Hope he gets traded. Seager, Trout, Josh Lowe, who's already hurt, Brandon Fott, who I was over the moon about, Tolia, whatever, Morel getting pinch hit for Aranda in like their first game. Not great, Bob. Not great. if he's short side platoon guy, that is not fun. But Tatis off to a monster start. They go 4-0 again at home against the Dodgers with Fernando Tatis leading off, multiple home runs in that series. That was big, nice. Fought Castillo. Both you and I were on Sanga. Gavin Williams, I thought looked okay. Tonight's a big night for our guy Tyler Glass now. Really excited about Spencer Strider getting up to 60 pitches on the backfield, looking like he'll be back. I thought Bryce Miller pitched really well. Was that yesterday or the night before that I looked at? So feeling pretty confident about the pitching side here. Seager was in some smash spots and didn't get home over the weekend, which is unfortunate. But this Christopher Morel late might be kind of ugly. And this Royce Lewis exposure right now isn't looking great either. But yeah, all things considered, got on that the cheap Dodgers backstack a decent
Yeah.
amount. Shout out Easy for that one. I was up there with the Josh Young tack on. Hopefully, torpedo bat Jazz can keep his shit going. Yeah, and then obviously landmines throughout, but pretty comfortable where I ended up just
That
in general
Tatis
here.
exposure is really hot.
Yeah, it's just so much my portfolio is, can these guys who are quote unquote injury prone, or players who have dealt with injuries in the past. I don't believe in the notion of injury prone, as you guys could see by my exposure. More so of the soft tissue stuff is the stuff that concerns me. But yeah, I'm kind of here as just like, man, if these guys can return to health and round into form, I'll be sitting kind of pretty here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm so stoked for I have a ton of Tatis as well, so I'm really excited for his start and how he's looking.
Now he's looking. You exploded on me.
No, I just really, I mean, so I mean, he's looking good right now. Stealing bases.
Yeah.
Hitting bombs. He's looking sick.
I didn't notice at the top of yours. Maybe you could just reiterate, because something people were screenshotting in the Discord that I never thought to screenshot or talk about was just how many different players you ended up with at different positions. I ended up with 96 pitchers, 96 infielders, and 99 different outfielders. How many did you end up with?
Yeah, I'm way more concentrated. I went 82 pitchers, 88 infielders, and 79 outfielders.
Ooh, 79 outfielders. So you weren't scrolling for outfield. Maybe that was because of the concentration on like one isolated target late that you kept getting to, or something like that. Or maybe it's because you pushed up infield or outfield more than I tended to do.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of Newt Bar.
Okay, that's good. Leading off.
Yeah. I'm honestly not too sure. I was pushing up outfield, and usually my late round picks were usually like a late round pitcher, aka like Bubba Chandler or Nestor Cortez, or these infielders of like Wilson, Campbell, Matt Shaw, things like that.
Sounds good. Yeah, those sound like some pretty good targets on the back end there, like Campbell and Shaw. Like that Campbell stuff looks great. I wish I had more Campbell back. Right now, he looks every bit of a big time big leaguer right now, and they're already having extension talks.
Yeah, they should. I mean, every team would be so smart to lock up these young talents ASAP. Pony up a little bit of money early and take the shot, because you're going to save yourself so much money.
That was the Atlanta thesis for like a long time, where it was like they got Acuna on a discount because they did that. They got Riley on a discount because they did that. And then they bring in veteran in quotation, but still young bat to put Olsen alongside that, Ozuna alongside that. Once they had the core, they did it with Ozzy Albies as well. So yeah.
Yep.
That is the motto. All right, Nez, let's move to today's slate. I guess we could talk about where you ended up on the morning slate there. It was a very wonky, weird morning slate. You brought it to my attention that Baltimore basically just had no ADPs or no projection in there. So unless you set your own ranks, nobody was getting to Baltimore. Where did you end up on for the morning stuff?
I think I ended up with 80% Blanco, Daron Blanco.
The Daron Blanco projection. Oh man, the Brandon Lockridge of my generation. Oh god, yeah.
Drafted in every draft. 25% owned in this contest.
Crazy, man.
Insanely funny. No, yeah. I went really exploitative though. In the early slate, 75% Churio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he struck out swinging just now against Chris Bubich. So Bubich is just the man. 75% Tyler O'Neill, 55% Westberg, 50% Adley, 50% William Contreras. So I was really concentrated around Brewers, and Baltimore in this slate.
I was in lockstep with you there, dude. I played the hits with right-handed power in Westberg and Taun there, hoping that wall isn't as deep as we think it is.
Yeah.
Cheerio, I liked the spot as well. Ran good on the 101 stuff with Schwarber there. And then, Bobby Witt was really mispriced in general there, so was using him
Yeah, he was.
as a one-off, a decent amount there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep an eye on that one as we go here. I see that it is 3-0 in two of the ball games that have already started there. White Sox up 3-0, and Royals up 3-0. So we'll keep an eye on it as we go. But let's talk about the slate. I think we could start with two things. Nez, I'm going to ask you the 101 thing that stood out to you, and then I am going to peeps the weather as well if there's any concerns there for us. By the looks of it, we're going to see the Athletics Park for the first time tonight, which will be very, very interesting for so many of us. Not ideal conditions, but with wind blowing out and potentially a little bit warmer than we're accustomed to having in Oakland, that could be a fun little environment there. But outside of that, Nez, nothing much to report. The Rays obviously are going to be playing these games that are considerably warmer than other places early in the season. Didn't really pay dividends over the weekend, outside of yesterday where they played a 6-4 ball game against the Rockies. But anything that you were concerned about and or interested in when it came to weather? I thought most of the weather impact stuff was on the early slate.
Yeah, nothing weather-wise that I'm like overly excited about. That Reds game is not on the main slate, so don't have to worry about that. But those hitting conditions pretty enticing for some pick'ems. So I am into some of those pick'ems in that spot. And then the weather in Tampa, I'm surprised that Roth isn't kind of hyping this up more as a good hitting spot. Granted, we don't looking like not a high chance of pop-up storms, high temperatures in that small park, and everybody in that game is really, really cheap. So
yep. You kind of stole my 101 takeaway when I was looking at ADP and the slate in general here, Nez, is we finally have a stars and scrubs at the pitcher position as rotations flip over and stuff like this. We do finally have to have the discussion of, is it worth pushing up starting pitcher today? That was kind of like my 101 takeaway. And the other one for me was the hashtag models. And I just kind of think like the hashtag models and how early it is in the season hasn't fully caught up to what we think the Athletics hitting environment could be tonight and what we think the Rays could be tonight. So I was just looking at these ADPs and I was like, why the fuck is nobody drafting Rays and Athletics right now? Because I see some Bayous, Bombas in the future in both those ball games there. And then the Jose Ramirez one. Nobody's taking Jose Ramirez. He was cleared to be a pinch hitter yesterday. They didn't utilize him. I think he's back in the lineup today, but even if he's not, he's free in the last round, and you could just go ahead and swap out of it there.
Yeah, pretty good call with Jose Ramirez. I wasn't on that, so I'll start to mix him in a little bit there. Initial takeaway is like I think I'm gonna fade the Cubs. Just like if I see Ian Happ in like a top 10 pick, I'm probably not going to be stacking Cubs. I'm just going to stay away from that. But man, Kyle Tucker looks awesome. So maybe some one-off Kyle Tucker instead of a full-on Cubs stack. That will be my choice there.
It's so funny that everybody was worried about Kyle Tucker in the spring there, and they're like, "Oh man, is he going to live up to this trade?" and all this sort of thing. And then he goes to one of the worst parks for left-handed hitting power. And what does he do? He just goes nuke. He goes like 25 fantasy points and 21 fantasy points over the weekend there and rips 2 tanks over that left field or right field wall rather. And it's just like, oh yeah, here we go.
So funny, man. That's why I just cannot fathom ever incorporating anything spring trading related into my analysis ever.
I know, ever. Right? It's so like whack-a-mole where it's like you look at like Soderstrom, for instance, and he homers twice, and now he's homered 3 times in the first series. And you're like, yeah, man, we should have been on this. Spring training told us the walk rate was up, the hard contact was there, but the results weren't there, and the strikeouts were down. We should have been all over this. And then you look at Kyle Tucker, and it's like, oh yeah, by the way, spring doesn't fucking matter. So it's really interesting to just like pick and choose where we go narrative or not. Like Christian Campbell, for instance. Like Christian Campbell, it's like he had arguably the worst spring out of anyone to make a team. And then he comes out and he's probably been the Red Sox best hitter, which is not saying much through the first 3 games of that series. But he has his first big league home run. He has a double in the gap. And it's like, oh yeah, he might be their best hitter right now. And what, we were going to be off of him because of spring?
Yeah, like be for real. Please be serious.
Let's have the Tyler Glasnow conversation here. This Atlanta lineup has looked putrid to start the season here. They have not scored a run in 22-ish innings, something like that. It's over a game and a half, or it's over 2.5 games there. So yeah, pretty ugly start for Atlanta. Sticks here. That being said, a lot of their good pop is actually never mind. Scratch that from the record. I was going to say primarily, right-handed, and we know that right-handed power doesn't play that well in that ballpark, but that's not entirely true because Ozzy was from the left side and Profar's from the left side and Olsen's from the left side. So yeah, I don't know how to one bad series there, but now you run into a buzzsaw that is Tyler Glasnow this evening, coupled with Dodgers bullpen. So yeah, just thoughts on how you're treating Glasnow tonight and that game in general.
I think you can push up Glasnow, or not push him up, but take him at ADP for sure. Just because there is such a strong separation there. Hard not to buy in a little bit to the recency bias of Atlanta here. And just knowing Tyler Glasnow's pedigree. I mean, he clearly has the highest K ceiling on the slate. I mean, nobody's going to argue that. So given the fact that you can just scroll around with your Glasnow, like it makes for a pretty easy sell as far as like mixing up who you take in drafts. There are some other pitchers I like here, but I mean, I think Glasnow is definitely worth getting a time or two, at a minimum in today's slate.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot there, dude. I have him as the highest probability by a landslide to be the highest strikeout rate pitcher on the slate here. I think it's like it's big stars and scrubs at pitcher today. If I don't take Glasnow, I'm probably just taking a pitcher in the last round. And I do think there are some ceiling arms back there that I'm definitely intrigued by getting to today.
Yeah.
But the 101 for me in the pitching department outside of Glasnow is, what the fuck are we doing with this Ben Brown ADP? I have no idea, dude. Like, he was used as a long reliever his first time out. He's 26 or 27-year-old, kind of like deeper league prospect in terms of like roto leagues this year, as like once he made the rotation as a 5th starter. He's going into what we deem to be an awful place to pitch that also might have scattered showers to cut a start short. Yeah, man, I don't get it. I will have very little of him today. I was shocked that the bat kind of like likes him a little bit, but I do think there's a lot of recency bias noise, or historical bias noise in his projection today of dealing with like athletics of the past and old athletics ballpark, like that sort of deal. This feels very similar to Sonny Gray on opening day to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna IKB this one for sure, and have no Ben Brown whatsoever.
I fully agree with you, man. Like, I don't even know if he can go like 5 or 6.
Yeah, like is a winner quality start like even 50-50 for him? Like, quality start, absolutely not. The win, probably not 50-50 either. Like, it just especially because he's a top 20 pick. Like, it's so bad. It's just so bad.
Yeah. I'm going to let other people eat that. And like the other thing is, there's better prospects with better ceilings behind him. Yeah. Like if you want a better prospect with a higher ceiling who's actually in a good pitching environment, take Jackson Jobe instead. Take Bowen Francis instead. At least we've seen it, right?
Jobe will be SP2 2 or 3, I think, by the time the slate locks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After we do this, we leave our impact on the market. It's gonna move. But Joe being SP6 is just hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't think that's gonna last.
I'm worried that there's going to be like some kind of like kit gloves and watching the innings and watching the pitch count and stuff like that. But I think I would still take 75 pitches from Job over Ben Brown at ADPs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Then there's a bunch of oatmeal guys, dude. Blanco has shown a ceiling in the past there. And kind of looks like maybe like the safest of the oatmeal stuff at the back here. Obviously had the no-hitter last year and had a teared start last year. I kind of glossed over Drew Rasmussen. I think both of us will be kind of in tandem that Drew Rasmussen is just SP2 today, but we're a little concerned about how deep he can actually go in the ball game. Question mark?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like super excited about Rasmussen given the park, but yeah, I think he's, if I'm ranking it, he's SP2, but like it doesn't really mean a whole lot as far as how I'm going to draft.
Yeah, agreed with you there in a big way. And then kind of like we can get to these oatmeal guys where it's like if you want to take the fun ceiling shot, it's going to be in Francis and Job, and then the oatmeal kind of like more stable innings. Hope they get you a quality start and or win, which quality starts are going to be hard to come by anyone's standards in the beginning of the season. But if there's a guy who they're going to let go long enough to do so, Miles Michaelis is probably that dude. Blanco probably second on that list, where it's like, yeah, you just go ahead and give them, 90 pitches to start the season here and could go 6 innings.
Yeah, I think Michaelis is really interesting because I think he has like the highest inning ceiling here. Because like they'll let Michaelis, if he's cruising, like he'll pitch like 8 innings today. They don't give a fuck about Michaelis, like he's done that. He's limited hard contact quite a bit, and I don't think Michaelis is good, but he's had those starts where he's going like 8 innings, 4 Ks. Like 1 earned run, maybe no earned runs. And like, it's so annoying and no one can hit them. And, Angels, if you want to buy into how teams are starting out and get some recency bias into your process here, Angels are having a horrible start. and now they're going to St. Louis, another, decent place to pitch. So I think Michaelis is interesting if you're looking for like a lone pitcher that I think has a pretty safe floor.
Like it, dude. Yeah, I think there's some of these like back end oatmeal guys that are going to be better picks than the high end. Like guys in the chat right now saying like Joker thinks like only 70 pitches for Ras. Like I'd be scared of that. Job, same thing. Bowen Francis a little less scared of that. Easy saying the Ben Brown problem is what if 14 points is just enough if you're not fighting for stacks in that area. So that's a good point there where it's like if you are back stacking guys, like what do you do with the pitcher you want to select in those middle rounds, right? So, for instance, if you are not doing, a Cubs stack or a Houston stack or a Toronto stack, basically, or a Dodgers stack, you could take, Ben Brown in this range here. I think personally, I would just take like SP7 instead and do my stacks even more full-fledged contrarian. But there is a path to Ben Brown having, 14 points this evening. And, Cardi does have him projected as his third highest starter on the slate.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I'll need to take a harder look at that. But my initial take is, pretty strong that I don't want any Ben Brown.
Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you. Here is the hard hitting analysis from our guy Brendo. Megalodon is the shark monster truck. Fuck yeah.
Of course.
There we go. That is what we needed to hear. Good call back to the start there. Yeah, here's another one. Emerson Hancock in a good park against a watered down Tigers lineup. They've been pretty banged up to start the season here. Emerson Hancock, was kind of always like that 3rd or 4th tier prospect on the Mariners pitching staff there. Any love for Emerson Hancock this evening, guys?
Maybe, not really. No. Okay. Detroit's not a bad matchup. Obviously, Seattle's a good place to pitch in. My Emerson Hancock bullishness went out the window last year. I was
Yeah.
excited about him. He's a first round pick. I liked him out of college. Thought he was going to be a good pitcher. I don't know how much longer Emerson Hancock has in the major leagues.
That's a little premature to be saying he's almost done at this age, but yeah, I'm not overly excited about it.
He didn't even do well in the minors.
Right. Yeah. It's an extremely fair take.
Yeah. But it's your guy. It's your guy. It's your young guy. I'm sorry. You got the laundry. The laundry came out. I'm sorry, John.
He's not really my guy. He's just in a pitching environment that kind of makes sense against a bad lineup tonight. Anything else that you want to potentially get to, like Grant Holmes versus the Dodgers? We're kind of excited at the tail end of Dinger's season there about what Grant Holmes could do. Joey Estes, like when he doesn't walk dudes, has decent enough stuff, and it's contrarian leverage, but probably too far a scroll. Jordan Hicks absolutely crushed at the beginning of the season last year there before. I don't know whether the wheels fell off because people got the book on him or just because at the tail end of the season, he ran out of juice as a converted reliever to starter. But just throwing names out there, anyone else that you would potentially click on this evening?
Yeah, everybody wants to, or Joker wants me to talk about Luis Ortiz, man.
Okay.
I don't know that I would do it against the Padres, but I am on my hands and knees wanting a strong Luis Ortiz start because I just want Ben Cherington to be so embarrassed. Just want him to be so embarrassed for making this trade, giving Luis Ortiz to a good organization. I would love to see him go 6-7 strong against the Padres in San Diego. But yeah, I can't do it. But shout out Luis Ortiz, man. I will say I don't think that he's a bad click, but it's risky. I love him.
I don't think he's a bad click. I will say that his splits were like super left-handed heavy, where lefties killed him last year. And obviously left-handed power is a little bit better in Slam Diego there, which, brings in Gavin Sheets and or Jackson Morrell. Probably not in that order. But that's where my sick deranged mind says. But if you want to do like a Morrell, Cronenworth, Sheets against him, feels fine. But then we'll talk out of both sides of our mouth where, he does have some K upside in a decent place to pitch, particularly against the righties. But yeah, attacking the Padres right now when they're going so nice is scary for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Nez, let's move over to beautiful unabated interface here and just kind of give like a yay or nay on the stacks and some bats from each game in which we may or may not be targeting. I think we should start with the Pirates and Rays here. Your beloved Pirates off to a scuffling start. I think no O'Neal Cruz today again? Question mark.
Why would you think that?
I don't know. I read some report somewhere that yesterday wasn't fully rest. I'm asking more so than telling.
No, I'm pretty confident he's going to play.
Okay, cool. All right, sounds good to me. He's got an ADP in those mid ranges, but it is lefty there. He's been hitting the ball very effing hard to start the season with some good swing speed there. So definitely can get to Cruz today. Any stack partners there that you'd be interested in getting to?
Brian Reynolds for sure. And then Joey Bart has been hitting cleanup, looking pretty decent. So I think that'd be like about it. I don't know that I'm going to be onslaughting the Pittsburgh Pirates today. Call me crazy. I'm
in lockstep with you there. Rays pretty good despite the ballpark there. Rays, we both kind of alluded that this was kind of our contrarian starting stack of the day here. We were shocked that not as many people were going with the Rays bats in this environment that is going to be like 80 degrees, especially the lefties. I was looking at some of the split side. What's the Pittsburgh starting pitcher's name again?
Carmen Majemski
there.
Good Polish kid.
Polish. All right. Yeah, I hope Brandon Lau wraps one around the right field Polish against him because I've been playing a lot of Brandon Lowe right now. Brandon Lau forget which one's which again.
He's loud.
As always. It's a bit that'll never die, Des.
Nope. It's not even a bit. It's very real.
Oh, are we getting Polish in the chat here? Is that?
I mean, I don't speak Pole, but that might be.
Wow.
Gonna have to put that in the old Google Translate.
Oh man. Yeah. Anything else there on the race side?
No, I mean, no Josh Lowe just really sucks. But
apologies, I fucked up. Timmy Carr's right. Rasmussen's a righty. The lefty's McClanahan. My bad. Misspoke there.
Caminero, Lau, and Yandy are a pretty fun stack though.
Yes, I fully agree with you there. Man, Jonathan Miranda looks pretty nice in the first couple games there too. Wish I could trade some of my Morel bags for some Miranda bags at this point in time. All right, Neds, let's move on to the next one here. We got Nationals and Jays here in the confines of the Rogers Center. There, not much to say in terms of like team totals and spreads and that sort of deal here, but the Jays team total is slightly higher there. Vlad is a quote unquote pick to click around the industry for a potential home run guy. This is a Mike Soroka returning to Canada game here. Good Canadian kid there, Mike Soroka. I don't know. We haven't seen him pitch in the bigs in a while. Like he came back for a little bit last year with the White Sox, but failed Braves prospect who then dealt with injuries for multiple years and now is making his debut with the Nationals here. Basically, the Jays have ADPs, and then the Nationals are kind of going undrafted here against Bowen Francis. Any love for either side of these or just one-offs? What are you treating this game?
I like, of course, Vlad here. I do some Toronto stuff against Soroka.
Yep.
Dare this guy to be good. I mean, he wasn't good the last time we saw him. Can't imagine he's going to be too good now. And then on the Nats side, I think the Nats are kind of a sneaky stack here just because I think they have some really exciting high ceiling players to put together. And I love Bowden Francis, but there's a good chance Bowden Francis is not as good as he looked to end last season. So they're a really sneaky stack that no one's really getting to, at least from what I saw. So I would try to do a little 3 or 4 man Nats here to get contrarian. And I say that as somebody that really likes Bowden Francis.
Like it. Yeah. Murderer's row of lefties to get through too. All top 6 hitters in the lineup are probably going to be left-handed too.
Damn.
That you're going to have to do CJ, Wood, Ruiz is a switch hitter and homer twice on the weekend. Nathaniel Lowe and Josh Bell. That's a lot of left-handed / switch hitting sticks.
A lot of different ways to get to that stack. A lot of different ways.
Yeah. Sean Newcomb, as advised, bad. Yeah, as advertised, bad. Yeah, that was failed Braves prospect. Another failed Braves starting prospect there. The left-hander, Sean Newcomb.
Sean Newcomb had his moments, though.
He did have his moments. So did Soroka, to be fair. I mean, they
Very
both
true.
dealt with some.
Yeah. I thought both those guys were the future for like 2 weeks. Damn. Braves got the rotation that they did for the future.
And then we got ready to learn Spencer Strider, and we were like, oh, never mind. There's the future. Oh shoot. All right, Nez. Angels and Cards. Noteworthy in the initial run of drafts there that I saw Wilson Contreras going quite high as a quote unquote lefty killer against the professional left-handed thumber of Tyler Anderson on one side. And then Miles Michaelis on the other side. I saw Mike Trout falling in a lot of rooms and not a lot of Angels getting drafted just in general. How are you treating this one? Do you like some of the ADPs, etc.?
This one, I am a Tyler Anderson respector. So, yeah, I don't love it, but man, I mean, the righties are just like sticking out like a sore thumb for the Cardinals, trying to maybe do a little Contreras and Jordan Walker. Let me look at their roster too, because is that Ivan Herrera? Is he a righty stick or is he lefty stick? He's righty too.
Yeah, the catcher. Yeah, he's got some pop.
Yeah, and he can hit a little bit, man. He can hit a little bit. So
Sneaky.
that's what sucks is like the platoon wise they look good, but
yeah, they got our guy Luke Baker too hitting the third there.
oh, that fucking guy.
Remember when we looked him up like 2 years ago and we found out how big he was and we were like, here we go.
Dude,
Here we go. Yeah.
He's a
Interesting to note two things from this one in general. Nez, Jordan Walker's swing speed. There was a graphic in the Discord going around. Is like top 1% in all of baseball right now. So makes me feel a little more bullish about our Jordan Walker bags, but his ability to make contact has been the issue in recent memory. He can swing it really, really fast, but it's nowhere near the baseball is kind of our issue right now. And interesting to just note that they're going to run out Lars Nootbaar at the leadoff spot against a lefty. That is pretty fucking bullish for the Lars Nootbaar bags right now.
I still can't believe how cheap he went all summer or all spring, whatever the fuck season we drafted in. Couldn't believe it. It made no sense. The dude is good.
Yeah, he is good. Just was not. He was everybody's favorite sleeper in the world. What was that? 2 seasons ago, or
dude,
was that even?
We steamed him all the way up to like pick 100.
Yeah,
like, oh
last year.
Lars Nootbaar.
Yeah, and then he just couldn't remain healthy. So yeah. All right, Nez. We push on here to Giants and Astros. Obviously Jordan where he belongs every single day at the top. There, we alluded to Jordan Hicks. The splits from last year being front weighted versus back weighted. Not sure if there's anything to take away from there, whether it was like fatigue or anything like that. So I'm a little more skittish to target Jordan Hicks early in the season than I am kind of like later, just based on the trends in which we saw last year. But if you want to get to the Astros today, like I'll never fault anyone for getting to Astros. Blanco looks fine in this one. Hicks, I'm probably staying away from. And nobody's drafting Giants right now. So if you want to be the guy who gets to right-handed power from the Giants, despite it being righty-righty, that ballpark plays much better. Right-handed power, like if you want to do Heliot Ramos or something like that, who homered twice over the weekend, looks like a good contrarian stick to me.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is an interesting one. I mean, I love Jordan at home. Not a lot to hate there. Jordan's one of the best hitters of baseball, so he makes a lot of sense. I don't know that I'll stack Jordan a ton, but I do like Jordan just as like a nice solid way to get points there. But the Giants, man, I was playing the Giants so heavy in Cincy all weekend. Really upset that they never really got home in the way that I was hoping. But with Chapman, Ramos, and Adames, with the Crawford boxes here, maybe Blanco was a flash in the pan, and he comes out today and he just turns back into a pumpkin. I don't think that would be totally out of the question. So, like you said, no one's touching the Giants today. They're definitely going to be a team that I keep in my builds and my portfolio all season, at least till it hits. I'm going to martingale the shit out of the Giants, I think.
Yeah, I like that, dude. I think that's a good shout there. Evergreen reminder, we talked about it on opening day there, that Great American Small Park doesn't start playing like Great American Small Park till the weather warms up a little bit, but it's still a great place to hit for getting to like Giants over the weekend and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm kind of totally in lockstep with you on that one. I definitely want some Giants in my life. We just had a trade in the big leagues right now, Nez.
What?
Yeah, quote unquote lefty killer, Stuart Fairchild, who is like 4th or 5th outfielder for the Reds there. He is a quad A type, getting traded to the Braves. So the Braves are already making moves to patch up that outfield until Ronald Acuna comes back. I don't know. Brian De La Cruz pinch hit last night and had a really tough at bat against the closer. Like, what's the San Diego closer's name?
Is it Adam?
No, Adam pitched the 8th.
He's their setup man, huh?
Yeah, we don't play rotisserie baseball anymore, so I just wave closers there.
BDLC
but like
was such a terrible signing, and that was never gonna work, man. He's cooked. He's cooked circa 2024.
Ooh, Estrada was last night. There you go. Yeah, he had a really tough at bat off the bench there. So I don't know. Maybe they're looking for a bench bat. Maybe they're looking for an upgrade on the platoon side of Kelnick there, but yeah, doesn't really impact our games very much. Nez, actually, you want to have a fun little exercise here?
Yeah.
Opening day roster, or let's just use today's roster for the
Okay.
Marlins. How many, as a baseball sicko, how many starters do you think you could name? I did this with my boys on Saturday night, and they're baseball guys, and they were all excited about baseball starting this weekend. And combined, like they're not as sick as we are. They don't play like the daily stuff and whatever, but they're all in fantasy baseball leagues and stuff. Combined, they couldn't even name more than Xavier Edwards. That was the only guy they could name.
I mean, the Pirates just played Miami, and I can't tell you more than like Jonah Bride, Xavier Edwards,
Otto Lopez, who killed you guys one night.
Otto fucking Lopez, yeah.
Derek Hill, the former
Derek Hill, sweet, yeah.
The former failed prospect like 4 times over with Detroit, the Rangers, and the Phillies. But it was just hysterical, man, that this is their opening day lineup. Like, oh my God. I know they're missing bats due to injuries for Norby and Sanchez right now, but holy smokes, man.
It's yeah. That was such an embarrassing 4-game series for the Pirates. Holy shit.
Turbotron said fucking Brad with the Otto Lopez. Was Otto Lopez on a slate that I didn't play and Brad took it down with Otto Lopez? Because that would be the most Brad thing of all time.
Oh my God. No way.
Nez, let's push forward here. Guardians and Padres here. We talked about the Jose Ramirez one. Not a given that he'll be in that lineup, but X-rays were negative and the wrist stuff looks okay. He was cleared to pinch hit yesterday, but they did not need him. Kyle Hart is on the hill for the Padres, and he's a lefty. So yeah, just talking about Lane Thomas as a potential lefty killer. His splits are so much better against lefties than righties, but left-handed power plays better in this park. Padres are getting drafted, and rightfully so, after the weekend and the matchup against Luis Ortiz. But as you alluded to, Luis Ortiz, not a bad scroll the F down option at the pitching position either there today. Thoughts on these stacks and players that you'll get to in this one?
I have trouble stacking Padres outside of the big three. I don't really do it's hard for me to get to the Crone zone here. But not a bad scroll. I really just find myself doing Tatis one-offs here. Mostly. Guardians, though, I really need to take a closer look at Guardians. No one's drafting them. To be very honest, I don't know much about Kyle Hart, but he's a lefty, so I'm going to be looking at some righties for Cleveland here. And like you mentioned off the top, I mean, Julio seems like he's or Jose Ramirez seems like he's going to be good to play today. Mm-hmm. So definitely looking at him, probably him, Lane Thomas as a righty, and then maybe Big Christmas.
Ooh. Kyle Hart looks like journeyman who played in the KBO. He is 32 years old. Looks like your budget lefty thumber.
Yeah, I'm good on that.
182 strikeouts in 157 innings last year in the KBO. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, classic KBO turnaround guy, but I'm going to have to believe it.
Left-handed Eric Fetty.
That's a comp.
Oh, wait, he's this year's Fetty. There you go. Fuck yeah. There we go.
All right, guys. All right.
Our community is too sharp out here.
I'm listening.
Yeah, definitely give me a guy that I want to see and see what it looks like tonight. I do think the Guardians' best version of their lineup is primarily left-handed, though. Like when they get Manzardo in there, Nolan Jones in there, when they get Quan leading off, but he can hit both guys, but the power is a little bit better versus righties than it is versus lefties. I think Jose Ramirez is a little bit better from the left-hand side, but the splits might fight me on that one. I just think this is a lineup that plays a little bit worse against a left-handed starter. That being said, it is baseball. Last three on the slate here, Nez. Tigers and Mariners. We talked about Jackson Jobe as kind of like, we might be a little scared in quotations about how deep he can go into this ball game, but given the environment, given the Mariners' propensity to just be bad in general, interesting to note that the Mariners for the last year and a half are the worst team in baseball against left-handed pitching, which would be kind of counterintuitive because they have a lot of righties on that team, and they used to be a team that we used to stack against lefties in the Teoscar era and that sort of thing. Just keep that one in the back of your guys' minds for when, because a lot of the names on the team are still the same, but just keep that in the back of your guys' mind for when we get some left-handed starters, aka Tariq Skubal, in 2 days from now here against the Mariners. But thoughts on this one? Are you getting to any bats in this game?
I'm pretty tempted to get to the Detroit side of this game. Just my slander of Hancock off the top, I think, kind of speaks for itself on that one.
Yep, for sure.
Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, maybe a couple other pieces of that game, but those two specifically who I really want to build around. Yeah. A little Colt Keith. Why not?
Yeah.
Torkelson off to a good start as well. Mariners. It is so weird that like right-handers they haven't hit well, but I'm going to ignore that and probably do a little bit of Seattle stuff today with
they've hit right-handers better than lefties.
Or with the I meant the right-handed power, right-handed bats against left-handed pitching. But Randy and Julio, I want to stack today.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd throw Cal Raleigh in there as well.
Big Dumpski.
Yeah, and if you want to like just catch a random home run here or there, Rowdy Tellez is kind of like always in play as like attack on third piece to a stack. Yeah, you've been down that road before. Here,
not against a lefty, right? Is Jobe lefty?
Jobe's a righty.
Oh, sorry, my fault.
Yeah.
My fault.
I confused everyone off the top because I was just giving a macro fact for people to stash away in the future. It wasn't related to Jobe.
Got it. Well, then go ahead. Go ahead with Rowdy then.
Yeah. Cubs and A's here, Nez. We've kind of talked ad nauseum about this one. I think A's are going to slowly become more popular as the day goes on here. Interested to see how this ballpark plays. I do think it's going to be a little cooler this evening than is ideal for hitting conditions. It's going to be in that like 50s ish, but slight wind blowing out here, and see if Sacramento can play like a hitter's paradise or not. And then obviously Cubs, pretty high priced. If you just had to, me pound the table for who is 101 to homer today, I do think I would say Kyle Tucker. Joey Estes, we have a big enough sample to see that this is a plus matchup for Kyle Tucker. Outside of that, dude, what are you thinking here?
I mean, I think the A's are just super cheap, and I'm gonna probably continue to hammer A's. I mean, they're a team that I'm going to be martingaling too for quite a while. So
I agree with you, man. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So I'll have A's today, a plenty.
And Cubs side, you said you didn't like the price tags for how expensive they are to stack. That being said, we know Joey Estes can get quite wild and put runners on bases, and Michael Busch is going to look a little bit better today than he normally does. Ian Happ's going to look a little bit better today than he normally does. But when they're stone cold chalk and going every single draft, it feels kind of gross.
Yeah, it does. I definitely have some biases there against like just never wanting to play the Cubs. But yeah, I'm probably going to stay away from that mostly.
All right, sounds good. Baltimore's hung a 4 spot on the Red Sox in the first couple innings there. The White Sox have 9 runs on Paddock there. So Paddock is fast tracking Zebby Matthews to the big leagues here, or Festa. One of them's coming for his rotation spot any point in time. Now, Brewers got no runs thus far through 4, and Twins got no runs thus far through 4. Royals have 4 for those playing the morning slate along at home. All right, Nez, nobody is drafting Braves today. Tyler Glass now is the 101, and rightfully so, in my opinion. In terms of 101, in terms of pitcher, there, I'm very comfortable taking him at ADP. I could definitely see myself building out some contrarian double stack teams with Glasnow at the helm there. I do think Glasnow, this is one of these weird slates where we say never pitcher, but I do think isolated instances where, yeah, this might be a pitcher slate here because Glasnow could separate in a big way. That being said, I hope they're willing to let him push north of 6 innings. Even if he's like 70 something pitches in the 5th or something, I hope they let him go back out for the 6th. But you never know with the Dodgers, especially early in the season. Let's start with the pitching dilemma here, and then let's start with: will you have any Braves bats today?
Yeah, I like I said, I think I'm going to do some Glasnow. But at the same time, I think I will mix in some Braves too.
Okay.
Just because the Braves are a good lineup, and no one's going to draft them. So, I think you just said simply try to get the leverage there. We talk about it all the time. The double bubble, classic.
Oh, the first one of the year, the first double bubble of the year.
It's a major double bubble too, because it's stars and scrubs. So everybody sees that. No one's thinking once about taking Braves today. So I like it. I'm waiting for Michael Harris to kind of do his thing. Got a lot of Michael Harris in these drafts. Little Matt Olson here. Glasnow can get hit hard. So, let's why not? Let's play it. Let's try it out.
Cool. Yeah, throw hard, hit hard. Not the most ideal bounce back spot in the world for the Braves, but if you want the contrarian leverage, you got to go to work there. Dodgers, Stone Cold Chalk. Hashtag never Dodgers, Nez, or is this a spot where we want to get to them against Grant Holmes? They're going to have one of the higher implied run totals on the slate, as they always tend to do. But yeah, as almost every night on our site, it is Dodgers in the first 3 rounds over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the Dodgers today. So
okay,
I would do it because I like it because you can. There's a lot of different ways to do it. You don't necessarily have to do Ohtani, Mookie, Freddie. 2 or 3 or 3 or 3 if you get lucky. Little Max Muncy, little Teoscar, little Conforto. Those are fun ways. At Tommy Edman, get unique with the Dodgers here. Like the Dodgers could crush. It might be the bottom or middle of the order instead of the top. So
yeah, absolutely
hit it that way.
Yeah, no, I respect that a lot. People in the chat telling me, Prep Boy saying, "Oh no, robbed a home run for Buxton and then removed from the game." Oh, you hate
Underdog account said it was just because they were getting crushed.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think it's just because they're getting belt to ass right now.
Okay. There it is, man. That's 8 up, 8 down. Courtesy of the good people at Unabated there. Guys, if you want to go mix in the Pick'em tool there, it's Cardi's projections when dealing with the Pick'em stuff. So the projections are always up nice and early if you want to use the DFS Pick'em tool there and make some Pick'ems for Underdog via Unabated. It's great. It's awesome. We went 4 for 5 on opening day there. And we missed it by one measly single. We'll build something else out in a second here. I'm going to hop into Moonshot. Oh, man, this keeps happening to me today.
Really?
I keep getting logged out of Underdog on Chrome for whatever reason.
Man,
over and over again.
Oil and water, man. Google Chrome and underdogfantasy.com.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's happened ad nauseum this morning when I was drafting. Okay, there we go. I will screen share it back up now. We are in. We got Brad, we got Jump Free, we got Easy, we got Car Park, and we got Chris. Actually, shout out to Chris. I think Chris won a slate last night too, but did not put us in a tweet or anything like that. Somebody else won. Somebody else won the other night and thanked us as well. No Bo Sox, but then didn't put out a tweet. Guys, spread the love. share some messaging with the world for us.
Let everybody know that we're the reason you won.
Yeah. Even if we have nothing to do with it, make it about us, please. As we roll the 102 here, which means we are going to have that decision pending what Chris does. If we want to do the Ohtani thing, the Tucker thing, or the Glasnow thing, where has your mind been gravitating?
Ooh,
3-1K win. Fucking watch me know Bo Sox. I will. I can't win, but happy to tweet.
I think Tucker makes a lot of sense here, but
okay.
Would not be opposed to doing Mookie or Jordan either.
Interesting. So you're not Team Glasnow this evening then, because you want to put him down a little bit.
Not on a stream draft.
All right, sounds good. I might be the guy who's overweight Glasnow tonight. I know I'm number one proponent of never pitcher. The ceiling of Glasnow compared to the other pitchers on the slate, in my estimation, is like 10 points different. And now, will that matter on this slate? Who knows? It would have to be a decently low scoring slate on the macro for it to matter, because it's really hard to separate at pitcher, guys, and separate winning a slate with pitcher. But if there was ever one that you could do so, it might be this one.
Yeah, it definitely feels safe.
Yeah,
but man, there are some big time studs there that you are passing up on.
Yeah, very much so. We see a little Dodgers stack at the right hand side of the board there. We see Easy pushing up Vlad, so he's liking the home run potential of Vlad. Then he goes with a contrarian James Wood. There you go. So we talked.
That's awesome.
We like that stack a little bit there. Fernando Tatis and Jordan playing the studs hits there. Brad, I bet he's going to start something a little contrarian after going with the Glasnow first here.
He's looking at Mike Trout.
Is he now? Jackson Morrell. As a pick to click, as a home run pick this evening, I really like Jackson Morrell. Do you want to go ahead and stack Ian Happ and or Suzuki because it'll be somewhat rare?
Yeah, probably, right?
Which do you prefer this evening?
Happ, because he's lefty.
All right, let's do it.
Or switch,
but he'll start left-handed this evening. All right. The Orange Genius has the wheel there, so Easy is using the hashtag sheet there. Nez, I think we just put Suzuki in this one. This team kind of made itself to start.
Yeah, you're not going to get this a lot.
Yeah, we run a 3-man
because we're in such a badged up room.
Yeah. We run that little 3-man stack there, and then we go ahead and tack on maybe a little 2-stack or 2 one-offs at the infield position there. I'm thinking of a guy right now, but we're all looking for a guy,
I have no idea who you have in mind, but I'm excited to see what you're thinking.
Brad's bleeding the clock on us right here. Oh, Jumfrey's in here as well. Tough room. There's your Jose Ramirez getting pushed up there. Brad's paying attention, watching the show.
Damn.
Thinking of a guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There's your Brent Rooker. That should be his new ADP in my estimation, especially if Ben Brown is going to be going every single draft. So I like that pick. Santander plus Vlad feels like a really nice stack today too for some home run upside.
Is it me? I know it is just me, but don't you just kind of hate drafting opposing teams on the same team?
Traditionally speaking, there is a little bit of positive correlation.
Yeah, for extras.
Yeah, well, that, and just because if one team goes nuke early, say they're up 8-0 right now, the Twins are going to be a better bet to get to 5 runs right now than a team that's in a 3-1 game because the worst relievers get thrown. So for people who are live betting, right now it'd be a good time to bet on some Twins higher stuff because they're down 9-0. So Chicago, who doesn't have a good bullpen, is going to throw their lesser arms next. just as a macro theory. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know why it's just a block in my head that's like, no, you can't draft.
You can't
Can't
game
draft in the
stack.
same game.
Yeah. If there was ever a time to take Ben Brown, maybe it is with these Chicago bats because we're making such a heavy bet on that, Nez. But I think I want to play some hits here with some of the guys that I like here in the infield position and take Brandon Lau first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Now I'll ask you, do you want to stack it or do you want to add another one-off bat of a potential home run variety?
Let's do a one-off.
Okay. We could also take the pitcher first if there's a guy that we like here.
Now, I do agree with the Ben Brown correlation.
Okay. You want to just go with it? We don't like Ben
so.
Brown in a vacuum today, but if the Cubs go nuke for 3 runs here, Ben Brown's the pitcher you need.
Yeah. I think that checks out. We don't have any A's on here, obviously. It's a cheap Ben Brown share.
Yeah.
I think it'll be unique.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty unique to have 4 Cubs like this, let alone the 3 outfielders.
I'm curious to see what you're thinking about for your last infielder here.
It was going to be Soderstrom, but now that we have Ben Brown,
Sody Pop,
buddy. Now that we have Ben Brown, that one kind of looks a little wamboozled there. Yeah, let me consult my top secret sheet here. That surely easy has not made. No, see what we like. I think there's definitely a stacking partner that I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can stack.
Numi wants us to take Big Luke, Big Baker, big beefy baseball boy there. Logan O'Hoppe didn't play yesterday for whatever reason. Maybe just off day.
Yeah, at least give him a rest.
Okay. Let me write down some names here, Nez, to see who you like. We got Wilson Contreras. Junior's your favorite? Junior with the stack there?
Yeah, go Junior.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in lockstep with you there. Some of the one-off names that other people were throwing out there, Wilson Contreras feels fine. Soderstrom feels fine, but not against Ben Brown. Some of those Giants bats feel fine as well. You want to take like Adames or Heliot Ramos or something like that. But yeah. Max Muncy would have been fine in there too.
Yeah, I like Max Muncy today.
Yeah.
I gotta head out.
Yeah. Let's you got any last pick intel for me?
I like O'Neal Cruz today, believe it or not.
Oh, you don't say. O'Neal Cruz. Little double home run one for 23x.
Yeah, I like home run. I like fantasy points too, but I also like home run. We gotta do one more pick.
Yeah, we gotta do 3 picks for that. Let's just do a cheeky home run one there. And then I will look at the unabated one and build one for the people here. Nez.
Perfect. Send me that link once you build that bad boy.
All right. It will be in the chat there. I am going to go back to the beautiful unabated interface as Nez excuses himself, and we will catch you guys behind the paywall in half a minute after I build this last one.
Dope. Thanks everybody for all the kind words. Appreciate it, and excited to be back. And I will see you guys Wednesday, folks.
Perfect.
Take care. Peace
out. Nez takes. Some of the stuff that's popping in unabated is David Peterson lower on the strikeouts. Cal Quantrill lower on the strikeout. Soroka lower on the strikeouts. They're pretty thin margins there. some runs stuff, which is close. Rowdy Tellez, lower on total bases. Nothing too crazy, guys. Nothing that's like popping like off the page that I feel like we have to get to right now. I'll bring it up for a half second here with the edge tool. Like we could do something with strikeouts in this first ball game. But yeah, nothing's popping like too heavy for me right there or for unabated. So maybe we'll leave that one for the time being. We will just play the home runs one together. What projections are you putting into the unabated? That is the Bat X, or the Bat X is what we're using there. All right, guys. Best of luck in this evening's Moonshot Monday. Best of luck right now. If you guys happen to be playing the Daily Diamond, I think it was called the Web Gem today. I'm gonna push everyone over here. You're gonna be funneled to behind the paywall there if you are a member, and we are gonna talk some hoops after I feed my dog and refill my drink. Give me 3 minutes time, and we'll be back on over there. Thank you to the good people at Unabated, at Underdog Fantasy, and our guy Nez Takes at returning to the show there. That was the baseball breakdown. The NBA one is coming up next for the MLBs only. Everybody's favorite time on the show. The end. Peace.